Welcome to Tech Brothers with Amir. Today we are going to learn how to create radio button parameters in SSRS report. To create a radio button parameter in SSRS report, we need a Boolean data type or bit data type. So let me take you to the SSMS SQL Server Management Studio, and here I have one of the column called is active, and it is bit type. So there are some customers, they are active, and some of them are not active. So for which are not active we have 0, and for active we have a 1. So let me take this query and create a report, and then we will convert to the radio button parameters. Let's go to the SSDT SQL Server Data Tools. Right click on the reports. If you do not have a data source, shared data source, you need to create one. So in our case we have the shared data source, and it is pointing to the sales database. Now click on the report and add new item. Go to the report, and here you will be providing the name of the report. Let's call this one radio button report. Add. The next part is we'll be creating a data source. So here we have two options. We'll be creating a data source that will be embedded in the report. It will be limited to that report, or we can use the shared one. I'm going to use the shared one here. So sales, hit OK. Now next part is the data set. Data set is the result set returned by your query or a stored procedure or from the function. So in this case we will be using embedded data set that will be specific to this query. So I'm going to name this one D set sale total. Select the data source, and here I will provide my query. Now once I have written my query here, this is the column I want to use as a parameter. So let me copy this column and then say where is active is equal to @is active. So I can put anything here. The name doesn't have to be the same like a column name, but I'm just gonna leave this one is active. So hit OK. Now let's go ahead and insert a table, and once we insert a table here, we can bring those columns or fields and then paste it there. And let me bring the is active. So this is it. We don't need all the columns here. Let's put them here, and let's change the color, make them bold. So we have a different color, at least for the header row is now it looks better. This column is not required, so we are going to delete it. Preview the report. Now it is asking us, okay, provide me the value for this parameter. So I'm going to provide 1. So once you provide 1, it will return you the records with all active. So if you see is active is equal to true, it did not return us 1 here. Even in the SQL server we have 0 and 1 values. So when it comes to reporting, it took the bit value and translated to the true. If I will provide 0 here, we'll get all the records which are not active. So but it is providing us false here. We can go ahead into the expressions and say, okay, when it is true, well, then 1. If it is false, it is false. We can do that thing here in SSRS by writing expressions. I will show you those all expressions in the next videos. But now here what we want to learn how to change this parameter, that's the text, to the Boolean or the radio buttons. So we are going to go to the parameters and then go is active, right click parameter properties, go to the data type. We have data type text here. Instead of text we need Boolean. So once we click the Boolean we are good, and here we say choose is active true or false. So there are 2 values we are going to get, and the radio buttons will have only 2 values. So it is true here. True means 1, so that's all we will get. If we will hit false, so we'll get all those records where we have is active equal to 0. So this is very common scenario where we can use when we have is active or a male or female column, like where we have distinguished them with 1 or 0. So all those different scenarios where you have a bit data type and you want to use these radio buttons, you can go ahead and start using in your SSRS report. Thanks very much for watching this video, and I'm going to see you next video.